kind of special. And I met Dan, and we just started hanging out. And he had this wonderful ability to make me laugh with just the dumbest things. I remember one time we'd get together and we were watching cartoons because we'd watch, at the time, the X-Men, which was the Fox version, which was really good. And we'd watch Ren and Stimpy, which I don't know how good it was, but we laughed a lot. And Ren and Stimpy had a couple episodes where they would play secret cartoons, usually broadcast from deep inside of a whale. When they would cut to the outside, you'd see the whale just holding his stomach. Oh my God, the bait, make it stop! Which I don't know why that was funny, but that would make me laugh like nobody's business. And so, but they would talk about how, let's see, you had to swear to make underleg noises during the good scenes, do a couple other things, and wear unwashed lederhosen for the rest of my life. And someone asked Danny, and it might have been me, but I don't remember being the one that asked. I think I was just in the room. If he did that, if he really did that. And Danny went, I have my hand on the screen every night, and I bought it. I just swallowed it, hook, line, and sinker. I don't know why. I just thought he was being honest, and my jaw dropped. Well, then, Schiffer Brain's there. And notice I said Schiffer, not what you thought you heard. Schiffer Brain's there, starts giggling because he got one over on me. Welcome back, baby. You okay? You okay? Yeah. All right. I was just talking about how Dan and I met.
Cool. I wasn't trying to interrupt.
There's a dog up there squeaking. Sorry if you heard that.
Oh, that's what I'm hearing. It's okay. Luna
has
It's a duck.
Yeah, our upstairs neighbors, they just got their dog a new squeaky duck. And that dog usually destroys her squeaky toys within 24 hours. And this one has lasted 2 weeks now?
Over a week, yeah. She's doing good with it.
She's doing very good with her squeaky duck.
We play with our duck with her.
So the next thing, if as some people think, the Mothman is kind of a predictor of bad things, then the butterfly people are kind of the other side of the equation, if you want my opinion. In 2011, a massive multi-vortex tornado, an F5, and I'm not talking anything to do with Brock Lesnar, hit Joplin, Missouri. And it did a lot of damage.
It wiped out the whole darn town, let's be honest.
Yeah, it was bad. I knew people that were living down there, and it was devastating to them.
So many people lost so much in the aftermath of that tornado. But
aftermath of a tornado.
But there are those that reported within 24 hours, they were reporting sightings of butterfly people. For example, Dad and his daughter were driving along. I think they were just trying to leave the area. I really do. They were just trying to get as far away from Joplin as they could. Not a bad idea, but they chose a bad route. The tornado kind of broadsided the road they were on. It didn't hit it directly, but it sort of broadsided.
It's like a pull factor for migration.
A what?
A pull factor for migration.
I guess. I'm not sure what you're...
They were trying to leave because where they were living got some sort of problem with it, and they had to move to another state.
They were just trying to get out of the area, but yes, that is as good a description as any.
So a pull factor of migration.
Yeah. Well, the road they were on got broadsided by the tornado. And the car was flipped over, but dad and daughter both fine.
Wow.
Untouched. Untouched completely.
So are the better butterfly people better than the moth people?
I don't know about better, but the effect is different. Because in this case, what happened is that neither dad nor daughter was hurt. They weren't touched. And when later people came to help them and get them out of the car, they asked them if anybody else was in the car. Dad said no. The daughter said there were butterfly people in the car. And Dad said, no, we were alone. And the daughter repeated and insisted that butterfly people were in the car when it got affected by the tornado. So that is it's not the first story that was told, but it's the first story I heard. And so I dug a little deeper, and I come to find out that in another house, tornadoes hit. They're all gathering together in the bathroom, which is one of the rooms they tell you to go to if there is a tornado, because it's kind of the safest room in the house. I'm not entirely sure why, but
most tubs are made out of steel.
Okay. So they're all in the bathroom.
In the bathroom.
Yeah. And tornado hits, the roof starts to come up off their house.
Oh, nice.
And then they all see this butterfly figure appear over them. The roof settles back down. Tornado moves on. Minor damage at most. And all of the stories that you will find about these butterfly people are the same kind of stories. Now, some people have said they're angels. And I could almost buy that. But I've never heard angels being described as having butterfly wings.
Yeah. Fairies?
Fairies is another possible explanation. But
fairies are generally small, though, usually, aren't they?
There's different kinds of fairies.
We did an episode on fairies. So
we have actually done two.
Yeah, so that should be enough explaining.
But yeah, fairies come in different sizes. Some
So
as big as you and I. So fairies is a possible explanation, but then why make yourself seen to protect humans that these people didn't believe in fairies before all this began? Some of them see them as divine agents. Some of them see them... And I've never heard of them anywhere else. And I looked. Trust me, I looked. When I did the research on this, I read everything I could find.
Might be skipping ahead a little bit, but looking through your stories, it looks like most of them involve children.
Yes. Now, that is one thing. Most of them involve children, and so a lot of people will discount it because of that. But these children didn't all know one another. It's not like they were all part of Mrs. Rosita's second grade class, and they had just done a study group on butterflies. Their kids... Joplin's a big place. It has more than one school. I mean, it's not as big as Kansas City or St. Louis, but it's still pretty big and has more than one school. So, and the kids weren't all the same age or in the same grade. So where do they all get this idea? Now, and yes, while it was mostly kids, it wasn't completely kids. Like the people who were in their bathroom. It wasn't just the kids who saw it. It was the mom, too.
Fair enough.
Are the kids all females?
No, not even all females.
No, there's boys in this mix too. In fact, I see at least 3 or 4
right
in the stories.
Now, and a deputy sheriff at one point tells a tale of a 4-year-old boy who was found wandering around a field in the aftermath of the tornado, and he said he'd been saved by the butterfly people.
Well, I mean,
And I just don't know enough. I mean, back when I was a stand-up comic, there's a place in Joplin called Kitchen Pass. And there's actually several of these restaurants across that part of the state. There's one in a nearby town in Kansas called Parsons. There's a Kitchen Pass in another couple places a while. And I liked performing there because I did well with the crowds. But so I've been there, and I mean, I have never found anything in the history of Joplin to suggest why they would see butterfly people when no one else did. And there have been enough disasters recently that if it was a regular thing, you'd think more people would come out about it.
Right.
But it's strictly an incident that seems to be, at this point, tied to Joplin, Missouri, and that tornado. And that's what made me connect them, is because to most people, Mothman is a Point Pleasant, West Virginia phenomenon. Which it's not. It's been seen other places since, but still not a lot. But it's a very specific phenomenon. And the butterfly people certainly seem to be the same thing, a phenomenon specific at this point to Joplin. Now, will they be seen again? I don't know. I tend to think so, but I don't know.
Right.
And so that's why I see them as connected. Whereas Mothman seems to be a precursor to something bigger coming along. And usually that something bigger is not a nice thing. The butterfly people seem to be an emollient for people who are going through something tragic, a curative, a help, kind of an easing of troubles for people in desperate situations. And it makes me think that there's definitely a connection between them, but I can't see what it is.
Thought Joplin got hit with another tornado after that one. I was kind of wondering, I was trying to look it up and see if maybe there might have been more sightings at the second tornado, because the big one hit in 2011.
Right.
So I was wondering if maybe, and it's a big one, it was a mile wide.
Yeah, it was it was described by every place I looked for it as a multi-vortex F5, which, near as I can tell, is they kind of refer to that as finger of God. It'll relocate your entire state pretty effectively.
Yeah, I guess I must be wrong about a second tornado. I don't see it on here.
Yeah, I know that they have had some microburst and downdrafts since then, but not real tornadoes. Not that it being in a microburst or a downdraft isn't scary as heck, but it's certainly not the same level of devastation.
Yeah.
So that is what I know about Mothman and butterfly people. So that brings us to this point. What do you think?
I think they are the exact opposite. From what I've heard, and from what I've been listening to, because we all know I get distracted easily, the Mothman is always going after people, always going after people in cars and trying to attack them?
Well, I don't know the Mothman actually attacked anybody per se.
Or
pursued them, but not necessarily attacked them.
And the butterfly people at least try to help them in bad situations. So, like,